Hey, it started for us, my wife and I, back in the 80s. We went on a medical mission trip to Guatemala and literally changed our lives because we were here in America and we think everybody is so happy everywhere else and healthy, and it's not the way it is. And so I'm always looking for people who have like minds and think in that direction. And I'm with Doctors Dean and Dawn Jones, and they're with something called Compassion Medicine. What an awesome thing. Give me your hand, man. I want to shake your hand.
Thank you.
Love you guys. So talk to me about Compassion Medicine. What is that?
Okay, so it's a nonprofit 501c3 organization that we started. Actually, we were approved by the IRS in January of this year, so it's a really new organization. However, we've been helping kids for some time, and we felt like, because we wanted to get a lot of other people on board, we felt like we needed to have a tax-deductible organization. So we incorporated with the state of Florida and became a 501c3 in January. So the focus of our work at Compassion Medicine is really helping children in third world countries. We've done a lot of work in Guatemala, but also a lot of other countries, and helping these children that are in these poverty-ridden areas that have very little or no access to medical care get surgery for life-threatening conditions. So,
okay, so let me just stop you here just a second, because if we want to go to the doctor here, we just call up, make an appointment, and go.
Right.
That's that's unheard of there.
It is, and especially in the rural areas of Guatemala, for instance. In the Guatemala City, you can find some doctors and some hospitals, although the level of care and the quality of care certainly isn't anywhere near what you would see here.
Right.
But our focus has been more towards the rural areas, which is really the majority of Guatemala and some of these other third world countries, where they have virtually no access to care. And even if they did have access to care, they don't have the resources to pay for that. So that's been our focus.
On our medical mission trip, we drove 3 hours to go up the mountains into a little village, through creeks and all this. And I'm telling you, we got up there and there was a Coca-Cola truck delivering Coca-Cola up there.
Yeah.
And so it's not just about sickness, but these people also need to be trained on health care, how to be healthy too.
They do. That's exactly right. Health education, health and hygiene training is very crucial there. The water supply is very poor quality. There's a lot of sickness due to the water supply. There's a lot of disease. So health education is an initiative that if we can spend more time in places like that, we would definitely like to incorporate.
Yeah. So Dr. Dawn Jones is a chiropractor also. And as you look, what got you in, and this kind of sounds like Guatemala City right here, I tell you that, with the noisy stuff, but how did you get interested in doing what you're doing?
I went on a short-term missions trip as well.
Okay. Did you do medical missions? So you went and did chiropractic there, or were you?
No, it was just a missions trip to spread the gospel.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm telling you, once you go there, it's like your heart just goes woo, and grabs these people.
It does. The people, they just steal your heart. They just steal your heart.
Yeah.
They're wonderful, and they don't. When I first saw them, it was like, oh, I want to give them this, I want to give them that. But they don't want it. They're content. Even though they don't have, they're so content.
One of the biggest things that we noticed there was, here in America, it's a very affluent society and we tend to have excess of everything. But yet there's a lot of depression. You go there to Guatemala, a lot of poverty, and the people come out of their little straw huts, dirt floors, bare feet, and they're smiling.
Yeah.
And they welcome you, very hospitable. It's a whole different, you would never expect that. You expect to go there to help them, and you do, but they actually help you in the process, spiritually, emotionally, and you bring that back with you, and it really does move you and change your life.
So your organization is not so much about helping the day-to-day health care.
Right.
You're going after the people who just life-changing, life-saving surgeries and that kind of stuff, right?
That's exactly right, because you can find small clinics in spotty areas around Guatemala that handle you know, you can get an antibiotic or something
Right.
simple or basic nursing care. But what we focus on is those life-threatening conditions. So some examples of people we helped might be a 10-year-old girl that had tumors in both of her eyes and she was going blind. We brought her over to the States and had the tumors removed. She's a perfectly healthy little girl and back in Guatemala living a normal life. And she could have been blind by now.
The rest of her life.
Exactly. Another case was a 4-year-old that had a heart defect from birth. She could not play with her friends at all. She'd give out a breath, she'd turn blue, no oxygen. And now she's had her heart surgery, totally corrected, and she's back out playing. In fact, her parents recently sent us an email saying that she's so happy and she praises God for intervening in her life.
Wow.
And that they can't contain her. She's out the door first thing in the morning running and playing with her friends. And she's only 4 years old. She has the rest of her life ahead of her. So this is truly life-changing surgeries.
Now, Mrs. Johnson is watching in La Jolla, California, and she can't go with you guys. She just can't go out there to Guatemala or to Peru with you.
Right.
What can she do?
Well, first of all, we always ask people to pray for us because the children, these families, and us as we put together, you know, teams or people that go with us, you know, we need God's intervention. We need Him leading us. Secondly, we need support for these kids, not to support us. You know, I work full time. This is something I do on the side.
Wow.
I would love to do it full time, but honestly, any funds that we get in go straight towards the kids. They can go to our website, compassionmedicine.org, and there's a place to donate on there. We even have some pictures of children that need help. We have some right now, just in the last few days we've gotten that we haven't had time to post on there yet. So the needs are immense,
Yeah.
and it takes money. And to be quite honest, we've been footing the bill for quite some time, and we're not complaining about that, but we could do so much more with the help of others.
Maybe this is something you've been praying about, asking God, what can I do? What an awesome opportunity. And I love the fact that this is not your what you do. I mean, this is just what you do on the side. Maybe it's time for you to help. Go to compassionmedicine.org and get involved with these guys. Now, I wouldn't tell you to get involved with anything that I wasn't sure of, and I'm sure of these two. I've known these guys for a long time. And it's time for you to get involved. Thank you for being with me.
Thank you for having us.
You guys are awesome.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Compassionmedicine.org. Go there right now. Mrs. Johnson, I'm talking to you too. Don't change the channel because we're going to be right back.